So I was on my way here, and I was like, chatting to some people, and I go, I gotta go. I have to record a podcast
Yeah.
all about my love life.
Right.
And she looks at me and goes, so it's a 10-minute podcast?
Bitch.
And that's exactly what I said. I said, no, it's 40 and 30 minutes are ads.
Right. Yeah.
So
I have enough content for 40 minutes. Shut up.
I'm trying to date. I promise.
Oh my gosh.
And welcome back to Outdated with me, Matt Rebar.
And I'm Mikey Sowers.
I'm not going to lie. I have been both looking forward to this chat with you because I know it's going to happen right now, but also kind of scared to talk about it.
Yeah. So I guess we should set it up. So we're going to skip the how's your dating life because this is our dating life right now.
Well, no, we are answering that question.
Yes. So
you know, as everyone knows, as our listeners of many an episode will recall, we start this show with how's your dating life going? And ooh, it went.
Yeah.
It's gone.
So you and I worked together the Saturday before last. We detected together and then decided to go out afterward. I was a little, how should we say, salty. I was not jazzed about the evening.
Now, is this because of the show? So just a little context.
Because of I was not jazzed leaving the show because I didn't enjoy the vibe of the show.
Yeah, so let's set it up. So
Yeah.
Mikey and I, the reason we know each other is because we act together in an improv act dinner theater show. So it's like, it's kind of when you go and you're like, oh, it's a mystery dinner, like who done it? And you get to eat hotel food, and then we're the people who like kill and blame people, etc. So Mikey and I detected together, and I was really excited because we've never detected together.
I know.
It was the first time. So it was our cherry popping detecting together. And the crowd was weird.
And the crowd went mild.
And they were very like some stuff just like that usually killed didn't kill. There was like a group of 30 that just would not stop talking. Like so much just like loudness. It's like, dude, like shut up. And I'm so bad at saying that. Like I'm a Libra, so like I don't like to confront if I can get away with it. Mm-hmm. I'll confront if I have to, but like I don't want to tell people to shut up. So yeah, the money was pretty good, but yeah, it was just a weird crowd.
Yeah. I left feeling like I need a drink, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went to our favorite watering hole.
Should we give it like a fake name? I can't tell if like...
It's always...
I don't want to like sponsor them, and I don't want them to feel pissed if we feel like we're talking bad. Let's call it, we went to Shake.
Yeah, we went to Shake.
Which, if you know the scene, it's gonna... That'll put two and two together real quick.
Yeah.
We went to Shake. We got there about, what, 10:30,
something like that, yeah.
So, my mood for the night, you were kind of just like, I need a drink. I'm like, you were a little over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mood was like, I'm just kind of tired. Like, for me, like, those kind of shows, instead of kind of reacting emotionally, I just kind of like, I'm drained.
Yeah.
So, my original idea was like, I'm just going to go out for like a drink. Like, I didn't think I was going to make it to midnight, honestly.
Right.
So, we get there, and once again... everyone's siloed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'd think that it was like a fifth grade dance where no one wants to talk. Like everyone's to their little couplets or their triplet, their friend groups, their, sex groups, whatever. And it's just like, it almost feels like everyone's getting ready to play like a game against each other where it's like, everyone find a partner, find a trio and stick with them.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
For like an hour and a half?
It was about an hour because our friend was doing karaoke before she showed up. So we were just kind of waiting around.
I mean, we were like two pelicans trying to find a flounder.
Well, there was nothing happening. Absolutely nothing happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you like to continue or do you want me to start? Like,
continue.
Okay.
Because really, I started to find out about what was happening.
Okay, so I'll start and then you can kind of wrap. Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh God. Obviously I'm scanning the room because I'm a scanner.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like beep, beep, beep. I'm scanning left and right. And a few people stuck out to me. You know, there was this couple that was like, "Ooh, they looked fascinating to me."
Yeah.
Because it looked like it was like their first time out as a gay couple. So I couldn't help but like look at that like, "Oh, that's cute. That's interesting."
Yeah.
Then there was this guy who was doing like laps and he looked like he was alone. And I was like, he looks interesting, but like, why is he alone? Why is he doing laps? Like, I kind of, not that it was weird in a bad way, but it's definitely the kind of behavior that like sticks out at this scene because everyone's grouped, no one's really moving. So for him to kind of be floating like he's like the Pokemon Jump Pluff, the little cotton ball Pokemon that just floats around. I mean, that was him. It was such a nerdy reference. Oh my God.
When have we not had a nerdy reference though?
So this guy's floating around. There was a few others. There was like a group of, did you see the group of professionals? Like in suit and tie?
Yeah.
Like they had just come from like a court case or like, what was that about? Anyway.
No idea.
So, anywho. So floating guy walking around finally comes up to us. And at this point, like I was like, oh, like I was really glad to just kind of talk to anybody really. Like I wasn't.
Sure.
But the chat was really good. It was like flowing, it was just kind of like, it was one of those things where like you rarely have those kind of chats with a stranger. Sometimes you have like good chats with a stranger, or like even like when we met the first time, I don't think the first time we met, we were like chatting so well off the bat. You have to warm up to people and kind of, get to know them. But it felt like old friends. It felt like, we had already talked before. Like it was flowing. So at this point, and this is probably the onus is on me, I hadn't been fully direct about like, like what are you looking for?
Yeah.
I just assumed, well, clearly you're coming in seemingly flirty, trying to kind of be chatty, chummy, whatever. So he does this thing where he's like, I'm going to go do like a lap. I'm going to see if I can buy another guy a drink that he was interested in. And I'm like, oh, and this is where, to be fair, I need to work on this because I have this Hollywood movie mentality where like, if you're going to come up and talk to me, I want to be like the center of attention. I want to be like the starring role. Right. And I don't know if you feel like this, but sometimes I feel like I need to like step back and realize that like, if these are just people I'm talking to, like they don't owe me anything. I don't owe them anything, but it can be hard. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I'm observing your conversation with this guy and I'm like, ooh, they're in a moment right now. And then Chelsea shows up and I'm like, well, Matt's talking to this guy. So why don't you and I just do a lap or something? So because I was thinking like, ooh, good conversation. It was going well for you two. Yeah. I'm like, okay, great for you.
So he goes and does a lap and he comes back and Chelsea, our friend Chelsea was there already. And he makes a comment where he's like, Mikey is so hot. And here's the thing.
Eye roll.
You are hot. I would say that to anyone. If someone came up to me and said, isn't Mikey hot? I'd be like, fuck yes, he's hot. He's hotter than the fucking sun, right? But like, it's kind of, if it's like one of those things where like, probably shouldn't poke the bear that is the initial conversation with someone, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe I wouldn't bring that up. Like, if you were talking to someone and they said to you, Matt's hot, you'd probably be like, like, yeah, but weird, right?
Well, yes. But never have I ever started to have a conversation with someone who's friends with the person that I think is hot. I've never done that. I mean, that's a kind of a genius idea, though. Like you slide in and you like if there's a beard or a girlfriend, like you make friends with the girlfriend and then you're in. But
see, I think I almost said the word unethical, but it's it's not like we're talking about like ethics. But I don't know. I just feel like if it was a girl, if it was some random friend, if it was someone who like I kind of met before, who like, I don't know what that was. I don't know. Like, I think it would feel different. It just kind of felt like, not that you were stealing my thunder because like, I don't feel that way, obviously, but it just felt like, okay. And so the one time he said it, I'm like, that's, whatever. Then he just kept springing it up about like how hot Mikey is and like, oh, Mikey's such a good looking dude. And I'm like, okay, one time, like, whatever. 2 times, okay, like we're getting a little, but like the multitude of times, I'm like, okay, this is becoming weird. And that's when I go to you, because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get ahead of this. I'm not going to be that person who just like, so I go to you and I'm like, he thinks you're hot. Are you into him?
I'm like, nope.
And I was like, listen, Mikey, like, and I feel like I said this. I was like, it would not upset me if you were into him. I just want to know, like, but if you're into him, like, I want to know now. Like, don't, which, like, not that you would lie to me, but, some guys, like, they try to,
I have no room in my life for playing around.
Yeah.
I'm no shit. Like, I don't need drama. I don't need, yeah.
So it was funny because once that I had told you about it, I feel like you were like you just you were out of there. Which I was like, oh gosh.
I took the exit,
I know. I was like, oh gosh, he's out of here.
I got off the freeway. I'm like, I am not continuing on this road.
Well, here's the thing. I would never have been like, get out of here. Like, I would never have been like, Mikey, you're ruining this for me. But like, to me, it's just like, okay, clearly we've just been talking for like, an hour.
Yeah.
And it was going great. But like, it's not like we're engaged. It's not like we're dating. If he likes Mikey and Mikey likes him, I will gladly step back.
Right.
Maybe I'd be a little pissy, but like,
sure, yeah.
If it really was one of those things where you're like, actually, Matt, like, such my type, like, I would give it up. Like, I'd give it up for the Lord. Hallelujah. So he does another lap. He's like, I'm gonna go do another lap. I'm like, good, get out of here. I was kind of really pissy at that point.
Over it, yeah.
So he does his lap, and I guess one of those things where no one else gave him attention. I don't know. Circles back pretty quickly, and I am not a good poker player. Like, I have no poker face. I am very like, what you get is what you get. And he's trying to talk to me, and he says something to the effect of, "Oh, brings you up again. Mikey is so hot. I really want to talk to Mikey. I really want to talk to Mikey."
Then fucking talk to me.
But I said to him, listen, Mikey's not into you.
Yeah.
Like, Mikey will talk to you as a friend, but like, your intention of trying to flirt, trying to get with Mikey, like,
right.
Let me help you. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Like, you're looking for diamonds in the ball pit. Good luck. Like, you're not going to get one. And at the time, what was kind of funny was like, you could tell he was like a little, I don't know if offended was the word, but like, almost like I had like chipped at his ego.
Well, what was he expecting to happen?
I think he wanted me to gas him up, and like he said something like, well, like, how do you know? I'm like, because I talked to him. What do you mean, how do I know?
Oh my God.
What was I doing? Like, having like a psychic moment where I was like, oh, I'm just not getting I don't think Mikey's into you. No, I literally went to you and said, are you into him? And you were like, no. Nope. You gave me the biggest no.
I'm good.
And it wasn't like you were like, I don't know. You were like, no.
Nope.
Like, how many languages does Mikey have to say no?
We know how picky I am.
Oh my God. I mean, you're more picky than a 3rd grade girl at like a fish fry. I mean,
that's the weirdest reference you've given so far.
It works.
A 3rd grade girl at a fish fry. Oh God, I don't know. Should I have?
I don't want the fish. I don't want coleslaw. I guess just fries.
Anyway.
So, by the way, I had already given my number, which probably a mistake. I gave him my number like 25 minutes in because he had asked for it. And at that time, there had been no flags. And I was like, no, this conversation is so good, right? Like, hell yeah, take the number.
Right.
And to be fair, it doesn't take a lot for me to give a number, because just because you have my phone number doesn't mean, like, how many people have you given your phone number to and you're like, oh, this phone number is really special to me?
I give it out pretty frequent if somebody asks for it. So, I mean, if the conversation's good or I'm drunk and we're dancing on the dance floor, I will give them my number. Yeah.
And smoke signals and
smoke signals, like
Insta and your,
turn around is my,
So And let me be clear, I had had a few drinks, maybe 3 to 5 to 6. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I mean, I spent way too much money.
Really? How much did you spend?
I'm not going to put a number to it, but
you know what? My problem was I used cash that night, so
did I.
Can't even keep up with how much I spent.
Yeah.
Okay, so finally, like, he's basically implied, like, I wanted to talk to Mikey, and then I was like, he doesn't want to talk to you, he's not interested. And then I just kind of like, I'm so bad. I just said, like, right, I was like, listen, I thought we had a good convo going, like, now you're into Mikey, like, I don't know, it's just a little weird, it's a little uncouth. Like, I kind of, like, pick a lane and stay in it. Like, if you want to talk to me, great. If you don't, like, great. But, like, and I was drunk, they were drunk, yada, yada. It felt like we kind of patched things up, though. Like, it felt good. Like, and I kind of forgot I had given him my number, and I just left. I think you left, and I left at the same time.
Yeah.
And at that point, like, I was like, like, I was kind of medium. I'm like, if he texts me, cool. If he doesn't, like, whatever. What else happened that night for you?
You know what? I got so drunk, I don't even remember. I mean, it was nothing exciting. I probably left around 1 or 1:30 because nothing was happening. Yeah. And that's the problem with that place. I just keep drinking in hopes that something fun is going to happen, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I don't meet anybody. And I see that group of, like, what do you call it? Swingers? You know? Every time I go there.
Group, time you got to shake. There's that one group that you're like,
I'm like,
they all
there they are.
Together. It's like an incestuous Southern family.
Who knows? But, like, I've matched with each one of them on Tinder before.
Yeah.
And they all say, oh, I want, a relationship. But when I'm at Twist, it sure doesn't look like you're looking for a relationship. Looks like you're messing around with anybody who will mess with you. I don't know.
So are you ready for the continuation?
Yes, continue.
Mikey, this story, I'm telling you, this is like a Lifetime movie. I think this whole episode will be this story. I'm not going to lie. So, wake up Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. Wasn't hungover. Went to the gym. Get a text from him around noon. And I'm like, oh, he texted me. Cool. We're texting. Once again, the conversation is great. Like, even in text form, it's flowing, talking, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
So then things are going, like, it's just nice. It's just good tech. It's a good conversation. And here's the thing. Even, like, if it had just been said from the jump, like, let's just be friends or whatever, like, I would have been like, yeah, like, it's a good conversation. But then Wednesday, I was hosting trivia. I was a substitute host.
Yeah.
And he just comes in.
Wow.
Like, he had asked, and I said, yeah. Comes in, buys me a couple drinks. And it was just such a nice thing. And I was really touched. It really felt like, oh, like, you must like me to do that. Like, it's not just some rando. It's not just a friend. So we go into the weekend, and I went to Pittsburgh this last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got a feeling like I would say something like, oh, I'm going out. And he was like, oh, I hope you meet people. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to meet, like, other people. Like, I'm kind of liking what we're kind of doing. Like, I don't know. And he ended up going out that Friday and texted me something to the effect of, like, oh, I didn't get anyone's number. And I'm like, oh. So then it's sitting with me. And finally, Saturday, it's been like almost a week. And I'm like, you know what? I think I messed up here. I did not ask what you were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, he's like, I'm really struggling between if I want something serious or if I just want to keep meeting people because, like, I feel like I love the attention that I get when I meet people and yada, yada. By the way, this guy's almost 40, which I'm not saying that, like, oh, you're almost 40. But it felt like I was looking to the mind of someone who was, like, 21, 23.
Yeah.
Just straight up confusion, straight up just not being honest from the jump, straight up deception. I shouldn't say straight up deception. I don't think that there was necessarily maliciousness, but just a lot of things that, like, frankly, I probably just should have asked from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
Should have probably clarified. So I was like, listen, I like you. Here's the problem. I like you. And I'm pretty sure where I want to go. If you're not sure, then we need to just call it a day. Goodbye. Have a good life.
Yeah.
Because it was one of those things, I think showing up Wednesday like that meant a lot to me. It was like it's like 50 points to Gryffindor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And had that not happened and had it just been more texting, I think I would have felt differently.
Yeah.
But it kind of felt like you have kind of plucked at my emotions a little bit.
Yeah, he made an effort.
Yeah, you kind of plucked at my emotions either for the sake of getting attention from a guy, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
And that's my boundary, and I'm gonna express it. So, another thing too was, and this is kind of where the subconscious likes to get involved, right? I don't actually think he was attracted to me physically, because there was a lot of conversation about how, like, smart and passionate I was and how funny I was, and like all these things you do want to hear. But never like, oh, you're cute. Oh, you're a stud. Oh, you're a ginger lumberjack daddy, which I am. Thank you. You know what I mean? And so, like, I even called it out. I said, and I don't even think, like, you are attracted to me, which is fine. But, like, again, like, if you're going to come up to someone at Twist on a Saturday night, like, I just don't know if that's the time or place to be.
Oh, you mean shake?
Just cancel this whole podcast. So I said, listen, let's just call it a day. I wish you the best, figure it out. Maybe down the line, if you have a clear picture of what you want. And this is probably where I went a little sassy, because he's like, well, next time I see you at Shake, I'll buy you a drink. And I said, no, you're going to leave me alone like I asked for that boundary, smiley face.
Yeah. I mean, I think at that point, that's the only way to go. I mean, this guy does not sound like he has any clue what he actually wants.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he was more clueless than a game of Clue. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just at my point in my life, I'm pretty sure of the things I want and I'm pretty sure of the things I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not going to put effort into someone who doesn't know anything. Plus, like, I like you.
Yeah.
And that's that vulnerability, me having that strength to admit that means, okay, two things, right? Either this works out or it doesn't. Either way, like, it is what it is, but I'm not going to continue to like you holding out hope that you get your shit together.
Right.
Also, he dropped that line that I really hate, which is, someone's going to be really lucky to have you one day.
No.
Like vomitous.
No way.
First of all, just never say that, even if it's true. Like, it is totally true. Like, for you, Mikey, like, whoever gets you, like, great. But, like, don't say that. Like, especially when you're, like,
absolutely not.
Kind of being a low-key dickie.
Yeah.
So.
Nothing had actually transpired with you two either. So that line, you had not made out. You had not gone on a date. You had not you had made out?
There was some kisses in the parking lot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I was going to, like, drag everything through, but it wasn't anything crazy. I mean, you kiss your mom.
Sis, I need the 411. I need
There was some I mean, listen, of course there was parking lot kisses. You come Wednesday night to my trivia event? Come on. That's a big deal for me. That's like a big action. I mean,
okay.
Because it's like, I feel like you're supporting me, which is really nice. I never really feel heavily supported sometimes. So, like, that little bit of support means, like, a lot. So, yeah, I mean, it could have been like freaking, any guy just doing the bare minimum, and, like, it's kind of hot. It's kind of nice. It's kind of sweet.
Okay. So we're borderline sociopath maybe?
No, I think they are where I was maybe 6-7 years ago, with, like, really needy and desperate for attention from men. Mm-hmm. And frankly, I still do this a little bit, because I still think of myself as the high school archetype of weirdly popular, kind of nerdy, glasses, fat kid. And it is nice to be complimented. It is nice when people say, you're hot, you're handsome. I want to do you like a 7-Eleven big gulp.
Right.
But these things, as nice as they are, to be dependent on them, to do things that hurt other people, to do things that hurt or demean yourself in the process to get that attention, not healthy mentally in the long term.
No. Yeah. It's funny that you say that because speaking to the high school archetype, I think I still function as though I'm that nerdy gay kid just coming out still. I'm afraid of someone who I'm actually attracted to going to make fun of me or criticize me. So I don't go for those type of guys.
Yeah.
So I just feel like the nerd who's sitting in the back of the cafeteria and not making any friends.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for someone to approach me because I don't think it's real.
Yeah. And I agree with you there. I also feel like I'm not super proactive because like you, it's like, well, I feel like these people aren't going to want to talk to me. I feel like these people are going to judge me physically. And, and I get it. Like I am a very particular cup of coffee. I am like the color red in the kitchen. Some people love it and a good chunk of people don't. And that's fine. Like ginger lumberjack daddy is not for everybody. Certainly not for a lot of people in Cleveland. I'll tell you that. Chicago, New York. Oh my gosh.
I mean, shit.
It's like flies on a swamp. Baby.
Move to Seattle. I mean, you're a slice of cake.
Slice of daddy cake. So this story does not end here.
Are you kidding?
Well, it has like a sequel that's like, it's kind of like Psycho. You know how you have two different protagonists in Psycho?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
So I don't know if we've actually talked about this other guy on this podcast because I think we talked about it in one of the episodes that got lost. So remember,
the one from out of state?
How did you know? You're so good.
Okay, no.
Okay, we need to pick a state that's not Ohio. Pick a state, Mikey.
Idaho.
Idaho. Okay. So I used to call it my winter break fling, but the more time has passed, fling doesn't feel apropos. It kind of feels like fling makes it feel like something that you could discard or, it's just that piece of time.
Yeah.
Met Idaho guy. Okay. You got to make sure I say potato. I met a potato. No, not a potato. If a potato, the most beautiful potato you could find, but
a scallop potato.
Like a fish scallop or like a scalloped potato?
A scalloped potato.
Okay, gotcha. I don't really have too much potatoes. Although I'm craving a Taco Bell potato taco right now.
Potato. I don't know.
So I'm going to call him, my winter break dalliance, maybe? I don't know. Met Idaho guy at Shake, actually.
At the Shake.
And we hung out like 4 times in a week. And they're from Northeast Ohio, right? But moved to Idaho for, just opportunity and is a local business leader. And
who moves to Idaho for opportunity?
I think they had a sibling there.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure who then kind of like was like, come to the land of Idaho for opportunity. And they blossomed there. I mean, it's so cool to see all that they do there. And I think that is one of the many things that I do like about them is that passion. Like Idaho Boy has passion. And honestly, maybe even more passion than me.
Get out of here.
No, I can't get out of here. I'm literally glued to this chair. Because I feel like sometimes my passion gets eaten up by what is real, what is like limited. And this is the kind of person who feels like nothing will ever stop them. Truly. Oh my God. Am I like getting like caught up in the feels? No. Get out of here. So 4 times in a week, which I've never met anyone 4 times in a week. Have you?
Maybe in the heat of a relationship, but no.
Like early on.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I think I've maybe done like 2 times in a week, but I can't think about 3 or 4. Anyway, we hang out. And of course, comes a day they have to go back to Idaho
Yes.
to do Idaho things. Like
Idaho people
potatoes.
do.
So, what was weird was I think you'd think that I would be very devastated, right?
Yeah.
Like I met this person, there was a really cool connection, so much similarity, like really good chemistry. But there was a part of me, and still a part of me, that feels like it doesn't feel like it's gonna like disappear. Like even if it's not meant to be, even if Idaho's meant to be forever for them, or like maybe I get to Idaho and I'm like I can't live in Idaho. Either way, like there's a friendship, there is there's a connection that doesn't feel like distance, and time can necessarily remove.
Wow.
Oh, stop!
No, I didn't know it was that deep.
I don't know. It's tough because I will say the one problem is Idaho Boy is not the best texter.
Okay.
Because we'll have a conversation and then like a week later there'll be like the response.
Oh.
And you're like, you're asking me a week later what kind of noodles I had from last Sunday? Like,
Okay.
which like, it's kind of cute, honestly.
Something that we may bring up in our next episode.
Oh, teasing me already.
Yeah.
So,
Texting etiquette and
oh my gosh. Okay, we need to end this episode to record that one. Seriously.
Yeah, right.
So after I like let this settle a little bit, I just shot him a text, not thinking like he was even going to respond because he doesn't really respond. Just saying like thinking of you, which I genuinely was, because I really thought like I'd met someone locally who like there might be something with, only to find out, as many times we find out, no, it's just not in the cards. No, there's some issues, whatever. And he ends up calling me right then and there. And I'm like in bed in Pittsburgh, at the Airbnb, trying to nap before a rave, which I got to talk about that in a future episode.
Oh, shit.
That rave was wild, and I'd be curious to see what you would think about it. And, we just talk a little bit, and yeah, it's hard. But again, I don't feel sad. I feel very, I don't know, nonchalant, hopeful, just c'est la vie. What's that French word?
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie. C'est la vie. C'est la vie.
C'est si bon.
Croissant.
Croissant.
So it was kind of weird because I feel like it was a very tumultuous week. Did not expect the way that would all play out from a twist. From an encounter at Shake.
Right.
Emotionally taxing, but I still
sounds
feel,
like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud of myself for remaining true no matter what.
Yeah.
Because I think it would have been really easy for like old Matt or a Matt that felt lesser about himself to go along with someone else's marionette, right?
Oh, yeah.
And to also feel vulnerable about, I like someone who's all the way in Idaho doing great Idaho things, right? Like, kind of sucks. But I don't know. It's kind of like that Natasha Bedingfield song, Not Pocket Full of Sunshine, Unwritten.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's unwritten. Is that how it goes?
The rest is still unwritten.
Oh, that's close. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was all because you wanted me to go out to Twist. So thank you.
Well, as I said, you usually have better luck than I do.
I don't think I do. I think
you have a better time or easier time kind of talking to people.
Okay, that's true.
I mean,
but,
that's
you have the look.
Second nature for you, just talking to somebody.
Yes, but you look like a Paris model.
I do not.
Yes, you do.
Come on.
Vote right now in the comments.
Comment below. Well, we already know that some people think I should have an OnlyFans, but that's not happening.
I feel like you would rake it in, even with the oversaturation of the market.
No. I couldn't bring myself to do what I do for a living and have an OnlyFans.
Yeah. Be a little...
Speaking of which, I'm looking for a job. So if anybody knows.
Well, OnlyFans is there.
I know. Yeah, there's no way.
Well, I don't know. Anything else to comment or anything about my little story of the week that makes you recall anything from your past?
Yeah, I mean, tired of people playing games because ain't nobody have time for that. Ain't nobody have time for that. Well, I mean, you are so busy.
Yeah.
Like, for you to actually show interest and spend any minute of interest in someone, you know, is priceless. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I don't think that they were necessarily playing games because they were honest when I asked the direct question. Mm-hmm. But I think that they probably should have read the room a bit earlier.
Yes.
And said, hey, I just want to let you know, I'm not sure, you know, part of me wants to settle down. Mm-hmm. Part of me just wants to be, you know, flirting with everybody and their mom. So, because, like, I think had it happened earlier and had it been a bit more clear, it would have probably made me avoid going to where I did. But, you know, what can we do? We go spelunking in caves, and sometimes the caves just don't communicate. Mm-hmm. Communicate. But
still, I don't think you need to be clear with your intentions for someone to just be straightforward and honest, you know? Like, I'm not going to spend an hour and a half just talking to you if I'm interested in your friend. That's insane to me.
Or it's kind of insane to be like, I'm interested in both. Let's say you're interested in both, and like telling one that you're like playing the field. Like, just talk to both of us naturally, right? Like, if I came up to two guys and I was like, honestly, I could go for either one, I'm not going to say that out loud to one of them, right?
No. Right.
Like, it's almost like, you know, it's kind of like that meme where like someone bonks the dog on the nose. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like one of those, like, boink. Like, yeah, dude, do better. Be a better.
What is that movie with the chick who's friends with like the football player, and she's like his wingman? It's like a high school movie.
Is it like an Amanda Bynes movie?
No, it's something older than that. But it just feels like in that situation, this guy was making you like the in-between guy. Like, you were the middleman, and I don't like that. So that was red flag number one.
I don't know if it was necessarily middleman. It was almost like, it's almost like you were at a buffet and you're like, this lo mein is good, but that chicken over there looks good as well, and that steak looks good as well. And it's like,
yes, but you're not going to eat the lo mein and say, listen, bitch, that steak, I'm going for that, but I'm going to eat you right now. You know?
No, exactly. And like, that's why I just, yeah.
It's ick.
It's 100% ick.
It's ick.
So here's our tip of the week.
Yeah, tip of the week.
All right, what did we learn from this? When you go out, listen, we all know that everyone's talking to multiple people at the same time. That's just modern dating.
Sure.
But like, can you put up a little bit of wall before you tell people? Like, if someone asks you, are you talking to people? Are you dating other people? Absolutely be honest. But probably don't lead that right off the bat.
No, don't lead with that right out the bat. No.
Well, let's end with something upbeat, which is a flirtatious pickup line and a dating affirmation.
We're going to do a flirty pickup line, and I've got one for you.
Yes, please.
Are you a bank loan? Well, you've certainly got my interest.
Oh. Again,
these are
would
cheese.
Work on me.
These are cheese.
All right, would you like a dating affirmation?
Yes, give me an affirmation.
Your presence in my life fills it with warmth and comfort, and I feel fortunate to have you by my side through every moment, big or small. Have you been affirmed?
Well, I'm certainly not firm right now. So,
but I guess we'll have to say that for our next episode.
Yeah, we should probably, yeah.
Well, you know what the deal is. StarVoltStudios.com, at Starvolt Studios for more programming by moi and, of course, other friends. Personally, I'm at Reebstar, HRIBSTAR, mostly active on Instagram. And, of course, my TikTok be popping. Mikey, where can they find you?
You can find me right now on Instagram, Mikey_Sowers.
Sour spelled?
SOWERS.
Yes. All right. Well, peace out.
Bye.